Greetings, loved ones. Shalom, I'm Shalom. I'm greeting all of you. Thanks so much for being with us. The love is too much. We appreciate, we are grateful. This is another episode of Riddles of Dreams under the teachings of Gateway to Spirituality. We are dissecting and digesting certain things that are phenomenon and real in our life so that we will have idea about how these things work. One of the things that are very phenomenon and which are common in our life is dreams. So it is one way or the other of spiritual activity of our life. Thanks for being with us. I'm grateful. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your data and watching and also learning. You can call us when it comes to distance for some guidance, for some directions. The number is on the screen. Our number has been they have been disturbing the number, but it's like these days the number is stable, so you can call us if there's anything you need to know or to have some guidance about these activities concerning dreams and all that, because we understand people are going through a lot and all that, especially when it comes to the nocturnal messages that it's dreams. Now, as I promised in the last video that we did in this segment, Riddles of the Dream, I said I'm going to take you through the Abrahamic religion. Let's look at dreams briefly in the concept of the Bible. This is what we're going to deal with right now. There is two important things we should understand. Nyama menubi very important when it comes to dreams relating to Abrahamic religions. One, the dreams are specifically coming from God, what they call God in English. Well, in the language which those people are said to be speaking was Aramaic and Hebrew. So Elohim, El, Elihu, all these names. So specifically, they are saying dreams are coming from God. Number two, this God is somehow confusion. You can only understand this God, or you can only take the confusion out of this God when you perceive the God as human being. When you perceive the God in Abrahamic religion as human being, that is the only thing. That is the only way you can somehow relate to what the God and how the God is behaving in Abrahamic religions, because it is very, very intricate that you, to extend that you think and you try to put some AYZ about some of the activities and some of the things that are said to be emanating from this God. Very, very intricate. Very, very intricate. Now, to take the confusion out, one needs to think of Abrahamic God, Abrahamic religious God as human being, which makes him or her, or makes it anthropomorphic God. Anthropomorphic deity, in simple language, is a deity that has human characters. So the Abrahamic religious God is anthropomorphic God. Until you get it this way, then the confusion will be taken out. Now, and if you get it this way, as we proceed in the riddles of dreams, you will understand something later when we tell you what are the sources of these dreams that we are having, apart from the dreams coming from us, apart from the warehouse of dreams being our own self, apart from the experience of the visions and the dreams we are having coming from us. If there's any other source of dreams somewhere, you understand properly, and you understand this anthropomorphic God of Abrahamic religion. Now, Bible elite has recorded more than 21 dreams in the Old Testament, and somewhere 6 or more or less in the New Testament. Now, the purpose of the dreams in the Bible is, first of all, visions, to give messages. This is one. The purpose of the dreams is to give messages to the adherents and to the followers of the anthropomorphic deity or anthropomorphic God of the Bible. Anthropomorphic God of the Bible. Now, not only that, the anthropomorphic God of the Bible has a way of trespassing into other people's life, or giving other people's message through dreams, without, even if the people are not his adherents. So otumi trespass. Now, looking at the way I want to know, ankane kasa, as I say, restricted to na bedi echirefo, ni aomu di mechi, ni aomu sumuno. Sana anke say eye, but yet still otumi trespass or go beyond that. And sometimes he even leaves his own folks and go speak to people that don't know anything about him, and some sort of popping or some sort of mind and interfering in other people's affairs, people that don't know anything about him, people that got nothing to do with him. So this is how the anthropomorphic God of the Abrahamic religion behaves. So one, the purpose of the dreams, and it is settled, as I said, that the dreams are celestial communications. So yet still polarity, baby and we are still on the polarity. So according to Abrahamic religion, the polarity or the duality is settled. The dreams are coming from the anthropomorphic God in Abrahamic religions. So it is a celestial communication. Now, when you hear celestial communication, from high to low, from powerful to weakful, from the strongest to the weakest, this is the thing. And the messages are for the purposes of the dreams in Abrahamic religion, for the purposes, messages, caution or warning, upliftment, and also counseling. Maybe there is an issue, the adherent or the follower or the folks of Abrahamic religion or the anthropomorphic God of the Abrahamic religion, there is an issue, they don't get it, then he will come to expose, to give a counseling about the issue to them. There is someone going wayward, someone is taking a steps that is wrong, the Abrahamic anthropomorphic God will come and warn them. And also there's a message that should be delivered. The Abrahamic religious God will come and deliver the message through dreams. Now, according to some of the New Testament elite, the teachers or the masters or the learned people, the people, the elite of the New Testament, they differentiate between dreams and visions. So they say dreams are those messages that come to us, or those things that we see when we are asleep. Those ones are dreams. And then visions are those ones that we perceive when we are awake. This is how it is differentiated by some of the New Testament elite. Now, let's see how the anthropomorphic God in Abrahamic religion deals or communicates through dreams. First of all, in the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 2 to 6, there's a story that consists or that constitutes three major people: Abraham, Sarah, and Abimelech, a pagan king. Now, Abraham, out of fear or out of being cautious, walked into the pagan territory only to introduce his wife Sarah as his sister. Now, that statement Abraham made, that's the character Abraham made in Genesis chapter 20 verse 2 to 6 is half truth but complete lie. Sarah is a half sister, yes, but complete lie, because at that moment she's not a sister anymore. Not a sister as we know. So it's a complete lie. The biblical commentary of Matthew Henry has stated it clear, it's a lie, and also confirmed that Abraham has sinned. It's a sin to lie. According to Abrahamic religion, it is a sin to lie. So Abraham has committed a sin. Dixon Teacher's Bible also confirmed that Abraham has lied, and it is a sin. As if that is not enough, Sarah also went on to support the lies of her husband, which she also endorsed it and said she is her sister. Now, the pagan king Abimelech now asked Sarah to be brought to him at night, that he wanted to have an affair with her. Well, she's your sister, so he wanted to have an affair with her. Now, in this passage of the Bible, Genesis chapter 20, verse 2 to 6, the anthropomorphic God or the anthropomorphic deity in the Bible appeared in the dream of Abimelech, a pagan king who got nothing to do with him. The pagan king Abimelech got nothing to do with the anthropomorphic God of the Bible. He got nothing to do with him. He has no connection with him because he's a pagan. Now, the anthropomorphic deity or the anthropomorphic God appeared, who is the God of Abraham and Sarah, appeared in the dream of Abimelech, saying that he's gonna destroy him and destroy his nation if he touches the woman, for the woman is Abraham's wife. Now, in a simple language, the anthropomorphic God of the Bible, or the God of Abraham, is going to destroy an innocent man and also his innocent nation based on a lie that the follower of this God has uttered himself and his wife. This is anthropomorphic deity. Now, there is a partiality here. If you want, there's some kind of bias, right? There is some kind of bias. Abraham, who is the follower of this God, Sarah, who is also a follower of this God, has lied. Based on their lies, the pagan king Abimelech acted. And now, Abimelech is going to pay for the sin of Abraham and his wife. How? This is one of the anthropomorphic aspects of the God, the God of the Bible. So here, this God favors his followers a lot, even when they commit a sin. Even when they commit a sin. So it's like this God is good in covering up his followers. This God is good in covering up for his adherents. Now he went to appear in the dream of Abimelech, and then Abimelech explained his side of the story that he did not know. And now the God says, yes, the God of Abraham said to Abimelech, yes, I know you do not know. Well, you know the man do not know. The man didn't know. The man did not know, and yet you want to punish the man for it. Meanwhile, the sinner is lying somewhere without being penalized. So it is some kind of pick and choose. I cover my people, I protect my people, and I made other people pay for my people's sins. So he appeared in the dream of Abimelech and told Abimelech that if you touch the woman, you're going to be destroyed, your nation is going to be destroyed. And Abimelech explained his side of the story, and the anthropomorphic God in Genesis 22:6 confirmed that, yes, I know you acted based on the pure heart. You do not know that she is Abraham's wife. This is one. So it's a dream, but look at the whole scenario. The dream supposed to go to the adherent of the God, Abraham, but no, the God of Abraham left Abraham and then went to the pagan king to warn him. Now maybe to protect Sarah from having affair with the king. This is the king. So this is the dream, the first aspect of the dream. So now from one thing to the other, from one entity to the other. So the duality, the polarity. The dream is from anthropomorphic God to the pagan king Abimelech. That is one. There is another incident in the same book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 28, verse 10 to 22. The ladder of Jacob, or Jacob's ladder. When Jacob escaped his brother Esau, when he were pursued to be killed, he ran towards Haran. When he got there, he got a place and he wanted to rest. Now so when he got there, he got a stone, lie down and place his head on the stone. Now here, in a sleep, he had a dream. Jacob had a dream that a ladder has been mounted from the sky to the earth, and angels are descending and ascending through the ladder. And then the Lord spoke to him. That first, the Lord spoke to him, but in the passage, the Lord stood beside him. The Lord stood beside him and gave him so many promises. Among the promises is going to make that land where Jacob slept his land. His land. Obeye ehono nyame no e kasa kire no say obema saa asase no ebeye Jacob dia. That is a dream. It was in a dream. The land will belong to Jacob, and Jacob will multiply. Jacob's offsprings will be like a dust. It's a form, it's an expression of multiplication of family, the descendant, his progenies. Nasifo bedosun, to say dust. They will occupy south, east, north, west. They will occupy. And all these promises. And there, Jacob said, if indeed this God will give me all these promises and give me bread and give me clothes, then I will take him as my God. Now, point to be noted. Point to be noted. First of all, it seems like as at that time, Jacob did not take the God of Abraham as his God. So he got nothing to do with this God, but yet the God appeared to him. Maybe the God has a relationship with him. The God is closer to him because of his father Abraham. The God appeared to him. Now there is another thing I want to point out here. All the things that have been mentioned in the dream in Genesis chapter 28 verse 10 to 22, all these things esoterically they are symbols, they are symbolic. Well, the ladder is the spinal cord. The ladder is the spinal cord. The stone is a symbolic. Now, according to Dixon Teacher's Bible and the comments of Matthew Henry, when you take Encyclopedia of Bible and all that, the explanation given about this land and where Jacob slept and had that dream is full of trees and also a serene and calm environment with tranquility and peace, harmonious environment, which looks like a meditative environment. All the things in this Genesis chapter 28 verse 10 to 22 is all symbolic. As I mentioned, the ladder is the spinal cord. Now, the ladder mounted from heaven to earth is the end, the top. The heaven aspect of the ladder is the spinal cord, where the point of spinal cord where it is connected to our mind, when it's connected to our head, our nervous system. And then to the earth is where the spinal cord, the tailbone of the spinal cord, that is down there somewhere around our waist, which got to do with reproductive angle of our body. Esoterically. Just briefly, I want to mention this. Now, this is what we should notice here. The God or the Lord stood beside Jacob in this dream. Now, standing indicate that he has legs. Speaking indicate that he has mouth. So this God is human-like God. In other words, anthropomorphic God. So this is the second dream that this God has shown to Jacob. So you see, even though Jacob was not taking this God serious, but yet this God came to talk to him. This is the idea of polarity, from someone to someone, from one thing to the opposite, from the higher being to the lower being. The third example that we're going to look at in the Bible is still the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 31, verse 22 all the way to 55. All the way to 55. Genesis 31, 22, verse 22 all the way to 55. Laban's dream. Laban was Jacob's father-in-law. He served him for several years, take care of his cattle, take care of his rams and all that. And then he married his daughters. And then Jacob left Laban secretly. Laban became angry, and Laban pursued Jacob for good 7 days. Now when he got closer to Jacob, he camped with his kinsmen. And then the God of Abraham, the father of Jacob, appeared to Laban in a dream and warned him that he should be careful. He should be careful not to speak either good or bad to Jacob. Onshe na maninka papa anaboni enfama enchre Jacob. Maninka papa anaboni enfanchre Jacob. Another dream. Now, this God is warning a pagan. Laban was a pagan. He has the gods of his land. In fact, one of the reasons why he pursued Jacob was that Jacob has stolen. He assumed that Jacob has stolen the gods of his folks, the gods of his kinsmen, the gods of his land. That is why he pursued him. So when he met Jacob, he lamented. Laban lamented why he took his wives, his daughters secretly. He wanted to let people follow them with music, with drums, so that it will be an honorable journey. But Jacob took them secretly. He lamented about that one. And then he mentioned to Jacob that the God of your father, which means Laban got nothing to do with that God, but yet the God trespasses and came into the dream of Laban. Even though Laban got nothing to do with that God, the God of Abraham and the God of Jacob got nothing to do with Laban, but yet he came to speak to Laban. He came to speak to Laban, and it is warning that he was giving Laban, so that Laban shouldn't go and say something that will hurt Jacob. Now, again, this anthropomorphic God has his chosen people, and he's always making sure that he protects them from those that are not his people. Even if it takes this anthropomorphic God to go into the dreams of those that are not his people to speak to them, he will do it, just like the way he did to Laban. Warn Laban not to say something bad or something good to Jacob. So when after lamenting, Jacob mentioned this dream, and then Laban mentioned the dream and told him that the God of your father came to warn me not to say bad thing to you, not to speak either good or bad to you. And then he talked about the stolen gods of his land. Laban spoke about the stolen gods of his land. Now he went to tent to tent, canopy to canopy, to look for the stolen gods. He looked in the first daughter's room, the maiden's room. He didn't see it. And then he went to the last daughter's room. When she packed all the gods, putting them in the saddle of a horse and sat on them. So when Laban entered her tent, he searched everywhere. He didn't see the gods. And then the daughter of Laban told him that, I'm sorry, I can't stand up for you because the tradition of woman has come upon me, meaning she has seen her period or she is menstruation. Because she is menstruation, she cannot stand up for him. Now she's saying this so that Laban cannot have access to the saddle she was sitting on to check it and see whether the gods are there or not. This is briefly the scenario of Genesis chapter 31, verse 22 all the way to 55. This is briefly. Now, something shocking and something intriguing here. That is, this anthropomorphic God is able to go and warn Laban in his dream not to speak good or bad either to Jacob. But this anthropomorphic God is not able to tell Laban, or is not able to solve the problems, one of the problems why, or one of the reasons why Laban pursued Jacob and his family. That is, the gods of the land of Laban has been stolen. The gods of the kinsfolk or kinsmen of Laban has been stolen. And Laban is accusing Jacob for stealing them. Now, this anthropomorphic God is able to come and talk to Laban, who is a pagan, in his dream, warn him not to speak good or bad either to Jacob. But this God is not able to tell Laban that one of the reasons why you are pursuing Jacob and you are accusing Jacob didn't do it. In fact, it was one of your daughters that has stolen the gods of your land. This anthropomorphic God did not do that. What interests him is to warn Laban not to hurt Jacob, at least not to hurt him. At least not to hurt him. This is interesting and this is intriguing. So, still, you can see the idea of polarity from one person to the other, or from the stronger to the weakest, from the higher to the lower. This is the thing. And also, something intriguing again in this particular passage is that the anthropomorphic God decides what he feels like telling you. Again, it is human behavior. It is human behavior. That is it. Now, let's see how dreams are made. Let's see how dreams are made in the biblical context. In the book of Job, chapter 33, verse 14 to 17, how dreams are given, or how dreams and visions are given, has been spoken about over there. And it reads, "For God speaks in one way and in two." The book of Job, chapter 33, verse 14 to 17, he says, "For God speaks in one way and in two, though people do not perceive it." Now, the form or the system that God speaks with, it's various. Maybe in this way or in this way. Meaning there are various ways, just like the way Matthew Henry brought it. The way of God speaking to people is varies. That is what it means. That is what the phrase God speaks in one way or in two means, according to Matthew Henry, the Bible commentary, according to Matthew Henry. And Dixon Teachers Bible has confirmed it. Meaning there are various ways of God speaking to people, but not all the time. Not all the time, and not just like that, though people do not perceive it. Now, It has love with people to learn how to perceive, or in other words, it is very cumbersome for people to perceive how God speaks to people Now, when he says in a dream, specifically in a dream, in a vision, specifically of the night, when deep sleep falls on mortals, when deep sleep took mortals, or when mortals are into deep sleep, while they slumber on their beds, then he opens their ears. He opens their ears and terrifies them with warnings. Now, this is a system that indicates how dreams are made, how visions are given according to the anthropomorphic God of the Bible. Now, one of the 5 senses that we spoke about earlier has been mentioned here. That is the ear. So you see, this is how the dreams are made. Now, Job chapter 33 verse 14 to 17 is just giving us a clue how the God of Bible gives dreams and visions. Now, there is one thing for certain. It's still yet from someone to someone. Duality, polarity. Is this the case? Is this real? That it's from somewhere to somewhere, coming from someone to someone, from the bigger vessel to the smaller vessel, from the higher being to the lower being, from the higher entity to the lower entity, from the extraordinary to the ordinary. Polarity and duality. Is that the reality about visions and dreams? Well, this is what the anthropomorphic God or the teachings of the Bible about dream has confirmed. Well, in Matthew chapter 1 verse 18, Joseph's dream is there about the pregnancy of Mary after she was betrothed to him, which has so many question marks. An entity came, which is known as angel, to speak to Joseph. This is the briefly, this is the idea of dreams. One thing in the Bible, this is briefly the idea of dreams in the Bible. And one thing has been established: polarity or duality, from somewhere to somewhere. Just that whatever God is giving these dreams has human character. For that matter, this divine being is anthropomorphic. Thanks for watching. Meet me in the next video as I take you through Islamic idea or the dreams through the understanding of the Quran. I say to you, bye-bye.